today we will talk about a subject related to connectivity and really interesting new technology, that is to say eSIM, as you can see. This technology is really related to cellular world, and it is really interesting to discuss about it because it can open many possibilities and it can bring some new opportunities during product industrialization and maintenance. So first of all, let me introduce my co-speaker, Ghanem.
Yes, hi everyone. So thanks for joining this talk. My name is Ghanem Bahri. I'm a global Presales manager specialized on our eSIM and IoT solutions. I'm working with Trufon since 1.5 years, and yeah, I'm providing global pre-sales and technical support to our sales activities. So nice to meet you all.
So thank you, Ghanem. From my side, I am Guillaume Paquet from Smile Company. I am a technical manager, that is to say, project manager, and I am also specialized in radio frequency and telecommunication, so I can help a customer to build their project. So for now, let me introduce the agenda of the presentation. So first of all, we will introduce our companies. At first Smile, then Trufon. Then we will focus on what is an eSIM, to know what are the particularities of this technology, a comparison between consumer and M2M SIM, in order to know what we have to address when we have to do the good choice. When we have made this choice, what to think about in order to integrate it in our ecosystem. Two specific use cases in order to give some examples and some projection for you. And we will finish with Q&A in order to answer your question. So at first, I would like to present the company. So the company where I am, Smile Company, we are a digital company. It is our historical expertise, and we are digital specialists since 27 years. So as you can see, we are implemented in different countries. But regarding our subject, our today's subject, we have a special entity in France dedicated to embedded projects in Linux, Yocto, RTOS, and so on. And we help our customer to build their project and to industrialize their solution. So this business unit, as you can see, is located in 4 different agencies: Paris, Toulouse, Grenoble, and not where I am. So you can switch to the next slide again. Thanks. So we have 4 different expertises. We'll begin with embedded and IoT, as I mentioned before. So our goal is to go until run phases and to specify and build projects for our customers. So, for example, we can help our customer to make the good choice of connectivity, to help them to select the good SIM, for example, and the good cellular connectivity, and develop application and bring it to industrial step. The second one is focused on infrastructure. So as you know, we have to host a complete infrastructure in cloud or on-premise, for example, in order to have a complete data management. And we can help our customer to deploy this complex infrastructure. The third one is dedicated to business apps, in order to provide your teams with business applications. We want to ensure that all your system is globally managed and really secured on the interconnection side. And the last one is on our historical expertise, as I mentioned in the slide before. So we are able to build a website, a complex interface. So it is closely linked to infrastructure. And it is really important to properly build what final user will have in us. So for now, let us know what is an sorry. Let me introduce Ghanem and his company.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Guillaume. So I won't take too much time. So quickly on TruePhone for everyone. So TruePhone, we are a global company, but with the headquarters based in UK, in London. We have also offices around the world, in Europe, in America, in Asia, and Australia. Historically, TruePhone was founded in 2006. We were providing global connectivity, focusing on the B2B market, enterprise market. So we have a position where we are operator full MVNO in 9 countries, 5 in Europe, and also in Hong Kong, Australia, US. This was, let's say, the historical market and business of TruePhone. But in 2017 and 18, we decided to focus on this new technology, which is the embedded SIM, which is the subject of today. So we decided to develop our own solutions and portfolio around eSIM and also around IoT connectivity. So from 2018, we are growing more and more on this side, either by providing global connectivity around the world to IoT device makers. And also, we are also providing eSIM solutions, either to mobile operators, service providers, or also OEMs, knowing that we have 2 GSMA certified data center, which is a must-have to operate the eSIM technology. We have one in UK, in London, and the second one in Amsterdam, and we are extending to a 3rd data center in Russia this year. And also, we offer these solutions to mobile operators. So today, we have more than 50 mobile operators using our platform. TruePhone is also a mobile operator using this platform, and we had great success since we launched, as we had today more than 12 million eSIM profile installed in devices around the world, which is, I think, one of the most impressive number when we compare to many mobile operators around the world. So these numbers are include, of course, TruePhone profiles and TruePhone connectivity, but also include our MNO customers' profiles and connectivity. Quickly, in terms of solutions, that's why this is probably to give more information on which market we address. So I talked about the enterprise market, which is our historical market. We developed our IoT connectivity portfolio, where we work with different OEMs around the world, like Murata, ST. We are working also with Sony Altair, Quectel. We also address the consumer market, so we have close relationship with Apple. We are partnering with Apple. We partnered with Apple for the first eSIM device launch, which was the iPhone in 2018. And TruePhone was the first carrier in the world launching the carrier app, which is allowing to buy connectivity from your app directly, so no need to put a SIM card on your device. And as I mentioned, also we provide solutions to mobile operator. So this is some references from mobile operator using today our platforms to provide eSIMs to their customers, like KPN and Etisalat. All right, so now we will go and discuss more about the eSIM technology, which is a new technology. So of course, feel free, please, to ask your questions. Use the chat for that, and we will have 10 to 15 minutes at the end of this talk to cover the questions and probably to provide more information if requested. So what's the eSIM? The eSIM, first of all, it's the embedded SIM. So it's a new version of the SIM card. And the SIM card is embedded into the device. So this eSIM can be in different form factor, the ones that all of us we know, the 2FF, 3FF, 4FF, or it can be also provided in small form. We talk about now MFF2, WLCSP, and we also talk about new technology, which is integrated SIM, where the hardware is completely removed. So the eSIM, as it's already embedded on the device, it allows to have different mobile operator profile that we can manage remotely through what we call remote SIM provisioning platforms. At the end, today, when we buy a SIM card, I buy a SIM card from mobile operator. I can only have one mobile operator profile in my SIM card. This profile is personalized from the factory, from SIM manufacturer. And if, for instance, I want to change from mobile operator A to mobile operator B, I need to remove the SIM card, buy a new SIM card from the mobile operator B, and put it in my device. The eSIM is quite slightly different. So the eSIM is embedded directly on the device, and it can contain different mobile operators profile. So in my eSIM, I can have TruePhone plus MNO A, MNO B, and so on. And remotely, I can swap between the different mobile operators. And this is kind of revolutionary.
Sorry, Ghanem, I just interrupt you 1 minute because I think you are still on slide 9. Yeah.
So sorry for that. So why this eSIM is very important to IoT? Because today, when we look to the SIM card, when we apply it to an IoT device, it brings a lot of headache and a lot of complexity going from the production to the enabling of the connectivity to the distribution and until the maintenance of the IoT device. So first of all, during the production, an IoT device maker, he wants to provide on-the-shelf connectivity. This is sometimes very complex to do, as mobile operators operate locally in their countries. So to be able to have connectivity around the world and, of course, avoid roaming fees and so on, we cannot, or the complexity there is that we will have different agreement with different mobile operator. And the complexity during the manufacturing is that we will need to have different SKU, so different SIM cards, different devices, and we need to know as well which device is going to which country and so on. And it brings a lot of complexity in terms of logistics. More than that, in terms of maintenance, so if, for instance, my device come to a place where my mobile operator is not providing connectivity, and if my device is a critical device, as an example, it's smart meter, or especially for utilities, to be able to change the SIM card, it's a big headache, especially if the SIM card is embedded into the device. More than that, if, for instance, my device is going to the field during 10 years, 20 years, I cannot be sure that during these 20 years, I will not have a need to change a mobile operator for any reason, for pricing, because I'm not happy with the service he's providing me and so on. So to be able also to maintain your devices and change mobile operators, it costs a lot. We will need to send an engineer on the field, going to the device, removing the SIM card, putting a new SIM card, and if the SIM card is embedded onto the device, it's a mess. And this is where eSIM comes. So at the beginning, eSIM technology, let's say we started hearing about it, it was in 2015, 14. So it was specified by GSMA. So GSMA today is acting as the authority standardizing this technology. And we look to different use cases, from consumer use cases to IoT use cases, where we can solve these issues that we have today with the SIM card. And this is where the eSIM comes. And the eSIM, as I mentioned, is standardized by GSMA, which means that it can be fully interoperable around the world between different mobile operator and also between different device makers. GSMA acting as certificate authority. It means that the eSIM must come with GSMA certificates that allow this eSIM to connect to what we call remote SIM provisioning platform, which is the platform allowing to change profiles. And also this platform must be also deployed in GSMA certified data center, which is the GSMA SAS SM certification, which is today one of the most strongest security certification around the world. If we look now to the eSIM, and as I mentioned, if we look also to the market, if we talk as well about the consumer market, eSIM is very well adopted. And today, eSIM in the consumer market is not a new technology, as all or majority of the big OEMs today on the world support this technology. So the Apple, as an example, launched the first eSIM device, which is eSIM only device, which is the Apple Watch 3. It was in 2017, and after they started launching iPads, smartphones with eSIM. So what we have today, as an example, the iPhone 12 is dual SIM. You can either use your eSIM into the device, or you can also use the SIM card of the device. And also all the other device makers, all the new devices coming to the market have an eSIM already, even laptops as well. When we look to the IoT, the eSIM was very well adopted, and the automotive market industry was leading this technology. And here we are talking about the connected cars. So all the connected cars today come with an eSIM, and the connected cars allow the car manufacturer to choose which mobile operator they want to use, depending on the location of the car. And also it brings a lot of solutions to the car manufacturer, because it avoids them to have different SKUs. And we see now more and more increase of demand on the eSIM and other markets like utilities, like healthcare, retail, and so on. So it's growing more and more on the IoT. And this is which is explained today by this graph, where we can see the adoption of the eSIM from where it started as an accessory, as an option. Now we talk about eSIM as a standard, and now, let's say in the future, we will see the inversion. Let's say the move from SIM card, and the SIM card will be completely removed, and then eSIM will replace the SIM card in both markets, consumer and IoT. How eSIM brings simplification? First of all, no need to have different SKUs for different mobile operator, for different devices when you are designing your hardware and device. So one SKU, one eSIM, and remotely you can manage mobile operators connectivity. You can swap from mobile operator A to mobile operator B. It provide as well out-of-the-box connectivity, which is one of the standard of the eSIM. So we will have always a mobile operator profile preloaded on the eSIM when we talk about M2M. And of course, it provides many flexibility to support any operator. In the consumer market, and this is, we will see some use case later on, it also provides the digitalization of the customer journey. It means that me as an end customer, when I want to buy connectivity from my mobile operator, I don't need to go to a shop, buy the SIM card, or receive the SIM card by post. I can do everything from my app. And this is what is happening today on the mobile industry, and it's the same thing that is happening as well in the banking industry. So for banking, probably I don't need to go to an agency. I can do and manage also all my services from my app. Now we will move to the integration of the eSIM and also how we can manage remotely the eSIM. So first of all, and this is very important to understand, GSMA defined two different models and two different architecture when it comes to the eSIM, and there is difference between the consumer market to the IoT market. In the consumer market, which is on the right, this graph, so we have this platform, which is the remote SIM provisioning platform. So it's the platform from where we can order and download remotely a profile and install it in my eSIM. There is only one platform, which is SMDP+. And at the end, in the consumer market, we have a direct relationship between mobile operator and the end customer. So it means that me as an end customer, if I want to buy connectivity from my device, having an eSIM, I can contact directly a mobile operator via an app, as an example, and download my eSIM profile and install it in my eSIM. When it comes to M2M IoT, the model is different. So in M2M IoT, in general, it's the OEM who is buying connectivity. As an example, in the car industry, it's the car manufacturer who is contracting with the mobile operator. And it's the car manufacturer who is providing the device, or let's say the car, with the connectivity to the end user. It means that me as an end user, I don't care who is providing me connectivity as it's provided by the OEM. That's why GSMA, in terms of standard, they split the platform of management between two components. One is SMDP, which is the platform used by mobile operator to host in secure environment, in secure database, his profile, his credentials. And the other platform, which is SMSR, secure routing, it's the platform in general used by an OEM to control who is providing connectivity at a certain point of time and to control as well the life cycle of the eSIM. So from my SMSR as an OEM, car manufacturer, I can decide to enable mobile operator profile A or profile of mobile operator B. Just for your information, those platforms must be deployed, and this is must-have from GSMA. It must be deployed in GSMA certified data center, as I mentioned. Truphone, as I mentioned, we provide, we have 2 certifications today, one in London and the second one is in Amsterdam. It's fully redundant. And we are also deploying a 3rd data center to comply with local regulation for eSIM in Russia, as an example. So this is a summary, because at the end, if I'm an OEM or I'm a device maker, and as I have this difference between an M2M eSIM and a consumer eSIM, the question will be, what should I choose when I want to include an eSIM in my device? First of all, even the consumer model was defined at the beginning for, let's say, consumer devices, smartphones, and so on, but we see more and more use cases in consumer IoT devices. So consumer IoT devices, as an example, we have laptops, we have bicycles, can be also connected washing machine. At the end, all these devices, they have a user interface from where an end user can interact with his eSIM. So with the user interface, and this is a must-have as well for the consumer eSIM, I can directly select, enable, disable a mobile operator profile. So basically, this is what I'm doing in my iPhone. I have 2 or 3 mobile operator profile in my eSIM in my iPhone. And from my settings, I can decide which mobile operator I want to activate at a certain point of time. So it means that if, for instance, you want to provide a consumer eSIM, you have also to think about, first of all, of course, the end user experience. So you need to provide this local profile application on your device from where your end user can decide which mobile operator he wants to have. And also you will have this relationship between your end user and the mobile operator. And we are also in a pool mode. When it comes in M2M IoT, there is no need to adapt your device, no need to have a user interface. So it's more adapted to like smart meters, utilities, devices, connected devices which do not have a user interface, where all this management of the profiles on the eSIM must be done remotely. And we are more in push mode. So this is the difference, and this difference at the end depend on which user experience. So first of all, which device you want to include an eSIM, and which user experience you want to offer to your end customers. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Ghanem, for this really interesting presentation of eSIM and how it can be integrated in the complete ecosystem. So what I would like to highlight from now is how we can integrate this ecosystem with this platform in your infrastructure, and how to be sure that this is really simple to manage, and how to add the good step. As Ghanem shown, Truphone gives the possibility to manage SIMs through dedicated platforms. So when projects become really complex with many devices to manage, it is really interesting to integrate this in a more global one. Why? Because when you are a final customer, you want to have one in hand. So eSIM platform is fully available through APIs and so on. So it is possible to manage whatever you want, as Ghanem presented before. But what is really interesting is the fact that we are now able to have one entry point to be able to see the status of devices, the important data, alerts from eSIM or from device, and the possibility to change MNO connection as it is represented on the picture. So, for example, you can have an MNO from a same country in different countries, for the same products in different countries, for the same countries, the same country for different products, and so on. So you are also able to manage some groups, change groups. That is to say, put a device in another group and to be able to provision and to have a SIM management on this for specific customer or for specific project, as I mentioned before. So the complexity is really to well specify the complete device and SIM management at the beginning of the project, but it is now possible to have all in hand and something really flexible and concentrated in only one point to make maintenance and as easy as possible. So for now, we have addressed this this topic. So maybe Ghanem, you can switch to the next slide. On this one, we will yeah, you can switch directly on this one. Yeah, thanks. So on this one, we will focus on SIM integration, especially in the hardware and software ecosystem. So as Ghanem mentioned before, you have different SIM format you can address with this eSIM, but from now it is really interesting to focus on a special format, that is to say the MFF2 format, because it is soldered and it is clearly adapted to eSIM, because as you can remotely change connectivity provider, it is not necessary anymore to have a physical interaction with your product. So it is not necessary anymore to change physically your SIM. You have to change it remotely, and it is now possible. So moreover, it is more secure in terms of hardware design, because there is not any access point on the PCB. As you can see on the picture, all the pads are under the SCP. So you have not direct access to these pads, and in terms of security, it is more reliable. So when you will be ready to completely switch to this kind of SIM technology, it will also possible to think about SIM integrated directly in modems, as it can be the case for Murata, for example, and other ones. And as you can see in the schematic, if you are not confident enough at the beginning of the project, you can manage the two SIM format. That is to say, having a SIM holder and have the possibility to switch from one to another. So another aspect to address when you go through this kind of ecosystem, it is about certification, globalization. As we have seen that we can change connectivity remotely, and we don't want to switch devices or products or antenna and so on, it is highly recommended to make a complete certification before starting production, and of course during specification steps. This aspect is clearly closely linked with the antenna choice, as I can mention in the slides, and regarding frequency bands to address. And we also have to focus on modem capabilities, because if the modem is too restrictive, or the antenna, it is also the case for the antenna, it will also enforce some restriction on eSIM possibilities, and we lose all the capabilities of the eSIM remote provisioning and change on operators. From now, I think we can switch on a use case, a real use case we have developed in our company, in Smile. It is interesting to have a look on it, because we assume to go on cellular connectivity, and the use case was, how can I detect an industrial machine activity, and how can I detect when this machine is stolen? So we have to raise an alert when this machine is stolen, and to track where it is, in order to be able to catch it and to recover our service. So it is possible now with this product to switch on eSIM. Why? Because we have only one eSIM which works with the global ecosystem, the global environment, without any manual intervention. So as you can see, this product is completely closed, and it is impossible to change anything on the PCB. So it is really interesting to go through eSIM technology. So it is now possible to change connectivity provider, and for this kind of product, it is now possible. Moreover, if the machine is stolen, the device, of course, it is not possible to make easy reverse engineering on it, because, as I previously mentioned, as it is a solder SIM, it is not possible to put probe on PCB and sniff traces. So we have all in hands to have a complete IoT use case with the same parameters we have, that is to say, autonomy, coverage, cost, data volumetry. So it is clearly possible to address this kind of use case with eSIM technology, and eSIM technology open new opportunities to address, as it is not possible with actual SIM format. So maybe Ghanem, you
yeah, thanks, Guillaume. Thanks, Guillaume. So yeah, so this is also two additional use cases I wanted to describe, and I want to also to mention about use cases in consumer side, as I talked about the consumer devices, and use cases that we did through fun in M2M IoT side. So in the M2M IoT, just for information, so we launched, and this was a project led by Murata. So Murata is the Japanese global module maker, and Murata launched. So we worked closely with ST Micro, Sony Altair, and Murata to provide a model Type 1 SE, which is highly integrated, which is miniaturized. It's a very small model, and this is a low power model which allowed to provide on the shelf LTE and Cat-M1 connectivity that can work in around the world, different countries. And it includes as well, by default, an eSIM, which is integrated in format WLCSP, so very, very small. And this model can be used for different IoT use cases. So it can be for a lot of IoT, meters, it can be trackers, whatever. The advantage of such kind of module, and the advantage also on having an eSIM with a preloaded connectivity, is that first, your model will work in many countries. You don't need to have different SKU. On top of that, if, for instance, you want to change a mobile operator, you can do it thanks to the eSIM. So Trufen was providing first the global connectivity, thanks to our global coverage. Murata providing the model, ST providing the eSIM and the chip. And after, through our remote SIM provisioning platform, we can also offer the possibility to the OEM if, for instance, they want to have a local mobile operator to do it remotely. So this is very, very useful use case and remove a lot of complexity for many device makers. Now let's have a look on the consumer side. Also, just to give you two use cases that we did, which brings a lot of value to our partners and customers. So one was with Extreme. Extreme, if you know, it's the global brand for Extreme Sports. So they have community and partners sportive around the world. And what they did is that we allowed them through an app. So we sponsored their app and also integrated to Trufen mobile network, where they can sell connectivity and provide connectivity to their communities and subscribers around the world. So no need. So if I'm an Extreme subscriber and I'm traveling, exploring new countries or whatever, I don't need to go and buy a SIM card and so on. So from my app, from my Extreme app, I can have connectivity, and this connectivity covers me a lot of countries. Another interesting use case is Boingo. So Boingo is the US company, worldwide leader on Wi-Fi hotspot in airport. So what we did with Boingo, also with an eSIM, is that instead, for instance, you just buy a Wi-Fi plan through their app, you can also buy a connectivity from their app. So if I'm landing to an airport, directly through Boingo app, I can buy a plan and I can buy connectivity and I can buy an eSIM. And again, no need for me to go, especially if I'm traveling for 2-3 days, no need for me to change my SIM card and so on. So I can do everything from my phone, and also I don't need to pay a lot of fees of roaming and so on, because I will have at the end a local number and a local profile. So this is very interesting use case, because at the end it shows how through the eSIM at the end we can provide more and more digital use case and digital journey for customers to buy connectivity. So that's it from my side. Of course, if hopefully this was helpful for everyone, and please feel free to ask your question if anyone has any question.
Yes, thank you, Ghanem, for your complete presentation on this use case. As Ghanem mentioned, you can put your question in the chat. Don't hesitate to put it. We will stay connected from several minutes to answer it if it is necessary.